phone.
The fate of one of San Diego's most historic buildings lies in the hands of the city's Historical Resources Board.
The Fat City restaurant has been around for decades, but the owner is now trying to sell it. Some argue that it should be deemed a historic landmark. News 8's Steve Price is live in Mid-City tonight with more on both sides of the fight. Steve?
And you know, Barbara Lee and Craig, even if you have never eaten here, you are certainly familiar with this building. You can't really miss it. Its neon lights and its design, yeah, they're hard to miss, but is it a historic site? Well, tonight there is still no clear answer. Its heyday in the 1940s is long gone. Signs of deterioration aren't hard to find, and the building has gone through several remodels over the decades. But
this is the grand entrance from right here, and the iconic tower is really what catches your eye.
Dan Soderberg says the Tops Fat City building still holds a special place in San Diego history and should never be torn down.
This is a building of streamlined Art Deco architecture, and then there used to be a number of these buildings along Pacific Highway, along the Embarcadero. They're all gone now. This is really the last one.
We are very much opposed to historical designation of this property today.
Colin Fatt's family has owned the building since the late 1970s and says they've never considered it even remotely historical.
Basically, only 35% of this building is original. Tom, my uncle, had a propensity to keep on remodeling.
But no matter what they did, nothing seemed to work long term.
Over the years, to be honest, we have struggled. It hasn't been the success that we thought.
So the Fatts want to sell the property to a developer who wants to build this, a $90 million, 237-unit apartment complex. But preservationists hoping to save the building took their fight to the city's Historical Resources Board, hoping to get it designated a historic site.
It's a landmark.
After hearing nearly 2 hours of speakers, it became clear the board planned to save the site. So the developer's attorney jumped in.
We would like to exercise the property owner's right to seek a continuance.
The board will take up the matter again in a month. Now, the developer told me that he doesn't believe the board properly understood the facts. Obviously, there was a lot of emotion during that 2 hours of testimony. So he said they're going to use the next month to kind of regroup and figure out a way to represent their argument. Hopefully, they believe that that will get the board to then change its mind. But that said, Barbara Lee and Craig, even if this site is designated as historic, the developer could still go ahead and build that apartment complex, although there would have to be some changes to the plan.
And as you pointed out, Steve, it sounds like there's been so many changes to this building already over the years that there's really nothing historic left about it anyway.
Yeah, that was the argument from the Fatts, who clearly are very frustrated. The board, however, says, hey, this tower behind me, all that neon, that's what you see when you fly into Lindbergh Field. That's when you see when you drive around this area. And that has been there since the 40s. It has been changed a little bit, but they say that's still a big part of San Diego's history, and they don't want to lose it. So definitely a fight to be continued. We'll see what happens next month.
A lot of nostalgia for a lot of people. Thanks, Steve.